What's up guys, we're back for another video. We have some motor mounts to install. So I went with Hasport. And as you can tell, I also have some hybrid racing dent springs. I recently installed some hybrid racing gear shift selector springs. That made a huge difference, as well as the Acuity shifter bushings that also made a difference, as well as the shifter made the most difference, obviously. Price to performance, everything is relative, but it is linear in the sense that the more you pay, the more of a performance increase you'll get in your shifting. So I feel like the motor mounts are pretty soft, so I decided to order some, and I started removing the motor mounts from the car, and they're loose. They're completely shot. So they're pretty bad. So I've done the rear, and I noticed a difference already. And so today we're gonna do the two on the sides. So here we have the Hasport passenger side mount in. Torqued it down to 47 foot-pounds. I called Hasport, and they said OEM specs. As you can tell, it's pretty wet here. The reason for that is once you take these bolts out, when you get to these bolts, the power steering line is in the way, so I had to take off these bolts right here. And I just moved it out. I didn't pop it out, but I just moved it out of the way. And I forgot to move it back and put the bolts back in. So when I turned the car on, it shot power steering everywhere. So I got to clean all that. And for some reason, the pump doesn't fit right. It doesn't go all the way down because it hits the mount. Now this is Hasport's new version. I think Innovative still uses the OEM style. I don't like the OEM style. I like this better, but the power steering reservoir doesn't go all the way down. It doesn't hit the hood, but something to note there. Now on to the driver's side, or the transmission side. So there's 3 bolts on the bracket on the transmission, and on the body side there's an additional 3, and then the one through the bushing. Most of them are easy to get to, as long as you you take your intake out if you have a short ram or stock box. And I also took out the battery and the battery tray that goes here, just to give you some more space to get to all those bolts. Now the ones on the body, the one right here and the one on the back of it, you do have, or I had to use a wrench. That was the only way I could get to them, because the clearance here is, well, there isn't any. That's my finger. That's how much clearance you have. So yeah, so just something to note there. Whoops, that was my wrench. But anywho, I'm gonna keep on working on removing this bracket and then put the Hasport in. Stay tuned. Okay, now that the bracket's off, it's time to install the dent springs. So this is the hybrid racing. Oh my god, it's stiff. And this guy right here, the one that fell, it's the stock one. So let's put that right there. Let's see if I can grab this right. Yeah, the hybrid racing one is significantly bigger, and it's hard to compress. Oh, that one's also difficult, but not as difficult as the hybrid racing one. So this is the one with the ball. So the ball goes first, and then all I'm gonna do is just drop that spring on top. All right, so there's the second one. Grab the dent spring. The other one on top. The screw has a little caveat inside, or I don't know what to call it. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it's hollow inside, which is why these screws can only go to, I believe, 14 foot-pounds, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm actually just hand tightening it. Oops, if I can get it. There we go. And here's the last one. So it's bolt, spring. Oh wait, this was the hybrid racing one. Oops. My bad. Here, that's a good bet. That's a better shot at the last one. There we go. It also helps that the hybrid racing springs are black and the OEM ones are silver. And they're significantly taller. Hold on, my glove's in the way. So all three, they all have the ball at the bottom. Which is pretty neat. I don't know if any of you guys open a transmission, but I have not. I've opened a motor up to see how it works, and that's pretty cool. This transmission will probably be the first one I open up. Maybe sometime next year. But, all right, so I'm gonna start putting everything back together. But that was the dent springs. That was pretty. Just wanted to take some time on these dent springs because I haven't seen anyone else do it. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I'm gonna go get my torque wrench now. All right, here we go. Motor mounts are in, dent springs are in. Put the battery back, don't mind the wiring. Motor mount, motor mount. I don't know if you can see that guy shiny. All right, so let's go take it for a test drive.